Could a Democrat be elected governor of Mississippi? Today on Political Access, we're going to spend a few minutes going back into this Mississippi governor's election. Now, the primary is going to be on August 8th, and Republican Tate Reeves, he's running for re-election to his second term. And the thing about Reeves is he has not really been all that popular. He really hasn't delivered the goods for the Trump base. He's had to deal with a water crisis. He's been against expanding Medicaid, so he's opened the door up to a primary challenger as well as a general election challenger. As of now, it looks like it's going to be Reeves, but we'll keep an eye on that. Now, on the Democratic side, if you're following this race, you've probably heard Brandon Presley. He is the favorite to go up against Reeves, and as you can see in this poll here from Mason-Dixon, it's a reasonably competitive race. Now, it's early, but Reeves is up by 7, 46-39. Now, you might be thinking Mississippi is such a red state. Reeves is an incumbent. What's the deal? Well, as I said, Reeves does have some baggage, and that's cost him a little bit of popularity on his own side. But Presley, on the other hand, he's apparently more of a populist type of Democrat. To me, he seems like a Southern Democrat from 10 to 20 years ago, after the Tea Party wave got rid of most of those conservative Democrats. So Presley has been on the Mississippi Public Service Commission since 2008. He is a distant relative of Elvis. I don't think that matters much, but the name in Mississippi could give him an extra couple of points. So first, let's look a little bit into this poll. It was done with 625 registered voters. It's fairly recent, and Reeves is only at 46%. Now, in 2019, Reeves won by about 5%. That was over Jim Hood. He was a well-known, long-time Attorney General of Mississippi, and the polls back then showed kind of an even race. Even Reeves was trailing in some of these polls that were only 2 or 3 months out from the election. So given that we're way over 6 months out from the election, I wouldn't put too much weight on this poll, but it's not going to be a great sign if you're Tate Reeves. And you can see here Reeves does lead in all the different regions of the state except in the Delta region, where he's down 15 to Presley. And there's also 15% undecided in this poll, so there's plenty of time for Reeves to be able to get his base together and still win over enough of the independents. But it is a red state. I would think just not alienating his base should be enough to put him over the top. So if you want, you could go more in depth on this poll and get some of the crosstabs. And we could see here that Reeves is leading with men 53-34. Female vote is going for Presley by 3 points, 43-40. Voters under 50, they're going with Presley by 10 points, 47-37. Voters over 50 are with Reeves, 52-33. There's a big racial gap, as we would expect. 65-23 in favor of Reeves with white voters, and 69-11 in favor of Presley with black voters. The party crosstabs basically have both sides getting 83 or 85% of their own party. Independents do tilt toward Presley 42-37. And down here with the name recognition, Tate Reeves is at 39% for recognized favorable, 34% recognized unfavorable. He has 22% recognized neutral, 5% don't recognize. With Brandon Presley, he's only at 20% recognized favorable, 4% recognized unfavorable, 39% recognize and are neutral, and 37% don't recognize Brandon Presley. So right there, that tells you that Brandon Presley, he has a lot of room to expand, especially with only a 4% unfavorable. So here's some recent news that Tate Reeves has signed a Medicaid extension to cover postpartum care from 60 days to 12 months. Now, my opinion is always with health care, that's something the Republicans should definitely get on board with. Red states, red counties, red cities, they all need health care too. And most of them do want the Medicaid expansion. It's an extremely expensive cost. It's a convoluted bureaucracy. You never know when you're going to need health care, but you know that you are going to need it at some point. So most people on any side are going to be in favor of much easier access to health care. And that's something the Republicans, if they really want to do something common sense and populist, they should get on board, at least with these Medicaid expansions. But most things in that direction, I think, would help them. Now, I don't know everything about Tate Reeves or Brandon Presley. I'm sure they have their own strengths and their own weaknesses. I don't think there's a lot of progressive voters in Mississippi for the Democrats to worry about, but I would still think most Democrats would not be too excited about Brandon Presley. If he's only a couple of steps down from Tate Reeves, I would think there would not be enough crossover voters for Presley to pull it out. Again, Republicans would just need to turn out their base, and Reeves would win. But sometimes state politics do have a level of uniqueness to them, and this could be an exception. So if we get on Wikipedia, again, the primary is on August 8th. There's a couple of primary challengers here for Tate Reeves. It doesn't seem like there are significant challengers yet. Got a lot of candidates here have declined. In a hypothetical poll from a couple of months ago, Tate Reeves did have a majority support. And then down here we've got Brandon Presley. It's probably going to be his nomination for the taking. And the three prediction sites, Cook, Inside Elections, and Sabato, they all have it a likely Republican. That's where my rating is at right now. It is just such a red state. It's going to be tough for a Democrat to win statewide. It could be a situation like New Jersey. That's a blue state. But Phil Murphy won re-election there, but it was by a much closer than expected margin. And then we go down here to the polling, and there's that recent poll. Reeves is ahead by 6 points. So I don't know what to expect. First, we got to see if anything happens during the primaries. But aside from that, I'm sure Tate Reeves has been humbled as of late. He knows he's not going to coast to re-election. He's going to have to make some changes. So the question is he going to make some token, more superficial type of gesture to shore up his base? Or is he really going to try to connect with his base and go in a more populist direction? If he doesn't get it together, there is an opening for Brandon Presley. But Brandon Presley, on the other hand, he's going to have to answer some questions on where he stands on a lot of issues. Is he going to really try to separate himself a lot from the National Democrats? Because then he would risk alienating some of his base if he sounds a little bit too much of a light Republican. So we'll see how it shapes out. It's a little bit early, but there's some interesting dynamics here at play in Mississippi. I'd say Reeves has an advantage, but it's definitely not a comfortable advantage. If Reeves gets complacent and everything lines up against him, we could be looking at a Democrat for governor of Mississippi. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this race? Will there be a primary challenger for Reeves? How strong or weak would he really be in a general election? What does he have to do to turn it around? And what does Brandon Presley have to do if he wants to have a serious shot at winning this? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.